when we are sleeping, they are playing football in that country. So most times we don't follow, but it shows that their football there is working and they are moving forward. So, but today, Palmeiras will play botafogo. What do you think will happen in that game?
And it's going to be a good old-fashioned clash of South American brethren, if I will say that, if I'm to use that analysis right now. Yes, it's going to be, what has been happening in the Brazilian league is going to take global stage right now with these two teams going head to head. And we are going to find out who is the stronger of the two now. Palmeiras is the most fancy set of players out there, because if you keep coming to our live session, you are going to see them shouting in the comment section, the only club in Brazil is Palmeiras. We are going to find out today if they are really the only club in Brazil, if they are going to be able to knock out Botafogo, or if Botafogo are going to have something else to say about this conversation. But it's for neutrals, because I'm a neutral right now, unless I go and buy my Palmeiras jersey. But for neutrals, it's going to be an exciting game to watch.
Okay, now, so what do you think will happen in that game before we get your prediction?
How many players have they? Is about we that came to England or came to Spain or came to Europe at large. How many of us have we are hearing William this current season? We are hearing William Estabao and the rest of them. I think Man United are scouting for another midfielder in the team as well. So look at the setup. Palmeiras are always shipping players, same as Flamengo. Great players have come from this side of the world. So now it's about, let's see, as now they send great players to this side of the world, make we know if we still get great players in a mix to win matches. Because in Brazil league now, you're looking at the Brazilian league, you're looking at the Rio, you're looking at teams from Rio, you're looking at Flamengo, you're also looking at Palmeiras as well. These are, like you say, big four. Flamengo is there. These teams are playing today. Botafogo is among the big six in Brazil league. So it's about who is going to take, because now it's not about big six we don't go, big six we no day before, or I get them before. This is big six I did get them before, and big six I still get them now. It's about just enjoying the football, seeing what happens in Brazil on global stage.
Okay, let's see what happens in today's game. And also, you dress well today. What did they happen? They go somewhere from.
I get coaching. I get coaching interview. I get coaching interview I want to attend to. So no, leave that one aside.
You can go on YouTube and see. Don't say he's dressing well today. I don't even understand what is happening today. But
I dress like Coach Cole.
Yeah, he dressed like Coach Cole. I was wondering if you are doing anything today. Okay, let's move on to the big one, because I know that's what everybody is looking for us to talk about. Is Chelsea versus Benfica. Chelsea somehow escaped Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich somehow lost to Benfica in the final day of that.
Bayern Munich escaped Chelsea.
No, not just Bayern Munich. You cannot say Bayern Munich except it depends in 50-50. But playing Benfica, I think Benfica is a lesser side. Not take anything away from them, but it will be harder for Chelsea to play Bayern Munich. But now they are playing Benfica in today's game. What do you think will happen in that game? The lab obviously will going to start. I don't know if Jackson, how many...
they've extended his ban, actually.
I think, okay.
It was straight up 2 before, but I think they've extended it to 3.
So, but if you look at this game, the lap will start. I don't know if, who the midfield going to be, if it's going to be Lavia, Enzo, or Caicedo, because most of them did not play in the last game. But Benfica are still a strong side. They have to have the Maria that is still pushing.
It's not we that is today. You ask Uncle Tinkerbell, Tinkerman. Now always thinkers with tactics. You ask him, is he going to play Palmer off the flanks again and we see another deadbeat Palmer, or is he going to play Palmer behind the striker where we'll see him flourish? But we know that Palmer said if you put him behind the striker, he likes to drift. They make him look like a fluid formation, we understand. But please, if you're going to start players, start them in the right position. We've said it before and we'll say it again. Chelsea does not have an actual right or perhaps left winger. Now that's where Nkuku flourishes the most from. Or perhaps you say Nkuku is a striker for him. I don't know. Anyone wants to play him, let him play. But if you're going to experiment, I think you experiment with a more experienced player, because Pedro has played from both wings, and now you just leave him only on the right, and you're experimenting with Madueke on the left. So I don't have a problem with the midfield. The midfield is going to be the midfield of we always know: Caicedo, Chelsea, Caicedo, Fernandes, and Palmer. Unless you want to experiment, like I said, then you're not bringing Reece James. You're not bringing Reece James. You now play Palmer from the flank, now bringing you just a defensive midfielder to partner with Caicedo, which means you're defending against a Benfica side, which we're not supposed to expect Chelsea playing a sit back and play counter-attacking against Benfica. We're expecting Chelsea to come out and play normal attacking football and expect Benfica to play on the counter-attack.
Well, they have their guy. What is that striker I like calling every day on the show?
Vangelos Pavlidis.
Yes.
Mark that name.
He scored a hat-trick today, right?
For me, like,
what do you think will happen in today's game?
For me, I think that Chelsea have gone past the area of tinkering right now, unless Enzo Maresca is about to prove me wrong. 1, 2, unless Enzo Maresca does not like money and he wants to throw away the £150 million that is there for them to win as they progress along the competition. So far, they've already made about 28 million, and they have about another 89 the path to the finals, right? So if he wants to tinker with Chelsea's, shot in the arm, we were talking about injection of raw cash into the bottom line. He wants to tinker with that. He should go ahead and tinker with that. I'm sure Benfica will be happy to knock him out and then move on to the next stage. But in this encounter, so I said it, I still want to come back and talk about it. This is game time now. This is crunch time now. This is no longer time for, down X or formula.
Chances.
No second chances, no do-over. 90 minutes, you're in or you're out.
No hope for the other team to do you one solid.
So nobody is pressing calculator for you now. He has to start the best team available to him, and they have to start at the blow of the whistle, and they have to go out there and give their best performance. Obviously, Benfica is not going to be a walk in the park. You have credible players in that side as well. You have aged legs that have never tired and will not retire.
There's one aged leg we always talk about, Renato Sanchez. That guy has been controlling midfield since the time of I started watching football. Makes sense.
Sanchez has been controlling midfield.
Defensively, offensively, he's there.
Other characters in there. So I'm just going to say that it's going to be a tough bout between both teams. And depending on who is most prepared, somebody is advancing.
Okay, if you look at the lap is obviously going to start. No, we talked about the show if the lap was enough or is enough to take Chelsea for, but now it has the opportunity. That's the way life works. It would have been Jackson probably played one and he will be introduced. Then probably next one he will play and he will be Jackson will be introduced. Like they will be switching probably in this one, but suddenly village people for Jackson collected him and gave him a red card. So it's out. So all their hopes are now in the lap. So he has now the opportunity to actually show what he has to offer in this competition.
I wouldn't say it's village people, but then what is a good opportunity for someone is also a good opportunity for another person. Jackson is out now. He cannot play in the next 2-3 games. The lap, it's make or break it season. Now you have the opportunity, you have the game, you have more time to show what you have. If the lap cannot make these opportunities count, it will only solidify the fact that Chelsea already had a good striker in Jackson, and they will bring him back and he will start starting for the team. But I have a strong feeling that the lap is about to prove a lot of Chelsea fans wrong and score a couple of goals.
No, so he has that number 9 shirt. According to Chelsea fans, it's a cost number. Because nobody at that number 9 has actually really done well.
I think every big team has a shirt that nobody's supposed to wear except for one of the legends that have worn before. That's why some teams will decide to retire a number. You get now for Chelsea, number 9 shirt is I don't want to use the word, but it is what it is. And with Chelsea fans saying it out, it means this guy is already on the way there. But I think it's about him preparing himself. Look at the way he scored that goal. I think goes one goal in 3 matches. Good performance because he just came into a team. You're trying to look at how to set up. Your first game, you say you played 30 minutes, it's not going to count. Second game as well is that I think he played again. So I think he played 70 minutes or so before Jackson came in and took that red card. Now in this one, you started and you scored. Now it means about if you start games and you go on, you're sure of 1 goal or perhaps an assist, because in his first game he had an assist in his first game. Second game he had a goal involvement, even if it was 1 goal he scored in that game. The next game he scored a goal. Now look at the way he's progressed with the Chelsea team. Come in, have an assist. The second game quiet. So next game
now it's double.
Now he's starting with 90 minutes, unless they take him out to the 70th minute to bring in a McGay, which we know Chelsea might not want to experiment like that. Now I'm still looking at the opposition defense. That's where my mind is. The position defense is not the type you can bully and get on goal.
They still have the evergreen Otamendi. They are still
you bully and we bully you back.
The legs that refuse to retire.
It's not about you give somebody body, he will move, then you beat the next person. Otamendi is going to be on you 90 minutes. So it's not somebody you say you can do like this against him. You can use physicality against him. He's also physical and he's fast.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game. Chelsea will play Benfica. Maresca can do whatever he wants to do, but he has this club workout to prepare his team for the Premier League that starts in August. Remember, Chelsea has bought a whole lot of players. Even one of their players is going to play. Estavo is going to play for Palmeiras by 5, so they are keeping high on him. He's going to come back to Chelsea. I don't know if he's going to play in Palmer's position or as a winger, so they will decide when he comes in for Chelsea. But obviously, he's going to come in and be a first team player. But for today, Chelsea will play Benfica by 9 p.m. in the round of 16. Let's see who progresses in that particular game. Let's get your prediction before we move on to the Sunday game. First, Palmeiras versus Botafogo. Who wins?
Palmeiras.
Palmeiras to win. Also?
I'm just watching the game.
Okay,
I can't call.
Okay. Benfica versus Chelsea. Who do you think will win that game? Or do you think we enter penalty? I'm thinking. I have this feeling that game will go on to penalties.
Let's do like for like comparison before we talk about defense. We have experience at Otamendi. That's the only person you can say, okay, fine, can beat any Chelsea defender. He will come into that Chelsea team and he's starting immediately. So Otamendi starts, which means he can go offensively and score his goal. But actually, is not one of those players I'll mention. In midfield, Renato Sanchez can boss these 3 players around with Di Maria up in the flanks. I think
if you look at this,
it's going to be tough for Chelsea to just crack them down.
If you look at this team, Chelsea is equally adept in that midfield. There's a lot of quality in that midfield,
especially in that midfield.
Remember that we haven't even seen Santos play safe, and the manager was speaking some time back that he sees him more as an attacking midfielder. So I think it's going to be a good win for Chelsea in this game, though Vangelos will be on the scoreline.
Okay, let's see what happens in that game. Chelsea will play Benfica by 9 p.m. today. For tomorrow's game, 5 p.m., PSG will play Inter Miami in the first game. It's going to be Messi and Fat Suarez versus young boys of PSG. It's going to be an interest. Yes.
Why are you body shaming Suarez? Like, I don't understand.
I'm not body shaming anyone.
Is he as fat as El Fenomeno?
He's fat now, but
is he as fat as El Fenomeno?
El Fenomeno don't retire since.
You know me.
El Fenomeno don't get.
You know me.
El Fenomeno gets football club.
But, you know me.
It's going to be an interesting game. PSG will play Inter Miami.
You know me.
Messi is still one of the best players in the world. He's going to be an X factor. He's going to be an X factor for PSG. If Inter Miami have a chance to win against PSG, somehow a miracle has to happen with Messi to create a chance or score a goal. But PSG are a young side. They are a good side. They play good football. They play better football than Inter Miami, even though that Inter Miami have Messi on their team. But generally in this game, what do you think will happen in that game? Do you think that Inter Miami can surprise PSG or PSG will just blow them out?
It's going to be age versus beauty in this encounter. You look at the likes of the Inter Miami side, you look at the Paris Saint-Germain side. If you look at these two teams, the strength of the Paris Saint-Germain side is just the brute force of their youthful exuberance. They are going to be faster, they are going to be hungrier, they're going to have everything to prove. Let's not also forget too that they won the Champions League just this summer. So you can't crash out of the Club World Cup. If you look at a couple of teams in these knockout stages, a couple of them have those gold crests on their jerseys, and those gold crests came after winning the Champions League and winning the Club World Cup. So they want to complete the story so far. So I think it's going to be a good game. But, they say that an old woman never forgets the song that she loves. So in this encounter, it's going to be how I wanted to say Barcelona now.
No, Barcelona now. I don't know for that trap, sister. Barcelona.
Inter Miami are going to manage this team. I'll take you back to the 2009 World Champions League where FCB beat Manchester United. Thierry Henry in an interview was saying that in that encounter, him, Xavi, the guys at the back all had bad ACL. They couldn't run for that game, and they had to manage the ball by keeping possession, passing around, progressing it, and then winning the Champions League. So in this encounter, they may not have the energy to ball. No, there may be a few young players between the Inter Miami setup that can come in and give them that. But all you need is one clinical moment with the fat one, Suarez. One clinical moment with Messi.
Or magical moment with Messi.
And it's a wrap. Because it's a wrap. Straight up.
Honestly, your preach finish now. That preach just preach summer.
Concern you, man.
Now summer, you're summer now. What? Everybody to their own. PSG. or Inter Miami is a good team. Both of them, these teams are good teams. But look at it now. You have football now. It's gone beyond beautiful. It's going to start. And in the last 5 games, how many goals have the striker scored? Inter Miami survived. They beat, I think, Porto with a comeback. And they survived the group. They survived the, let's not say they won the group. They survived the group. They survived the group stage. Based on the lack of information Porto came with. They survived the group. Now they're going to play against the champions of Europe. Not any out team, not I get that before. They are playing against the champions of Europe and also in their prime. They don't even hit their prime. They are still growing to meet their prime. And these teams have, I think the team have what they call the starting team, and they also have the quality on the bench. We cannot say, okay, you can name 5 players that are top players on the bench of PSG now. They don't have that top player on the bench, but they have quality.
Yeah.
You get. They don't have, I keep saying, name one big, you say, this person a big name.
You can't compare them the bench with Man City.
When you pick one player out and put him in the team,
I don't understand how Man City got into this conversation right now.
Okay,
because they don't have Ballon d'Or winner, right? I understand.
So you get now with that quality on the bench, we will say inexperienced, yet it's quality enough on the bench. They can still come in to surprise any team in the world right now. And I think Inter Miami is going to learn the hard way. They go and learn.
Yeah, they play good football. PSG, they pass around. They have an ex-Barcelona coach coaching them, Enrique. He has actually trained those boys where they pass around well. Even though for Inter Miami, now ex-Barcelona food that place. Mascherano is
Daniel Alba.
Alba, their left back. Barcelona, Busquets,
Messi,
Barcelona, Messi, Barcelona. So it's going
almost 6 Barcelona players in the team. Why?
It's going to be an ex-Barcelona encounter in that game.
Ex-Barcelona team versus future Barcelona team.
PSG is doing well. Either are the European champions that they're going to face Inter Miami. But if you look at it in the general, as I said, Messi is an X factor for Inter Miami. Do you think that he still has enough in his tank to change this game?
Baba is chasing down another World Cup. He didn't want.
Is X factor in the team for Inter Miami?
Yes, X factor in the team for Inter
Miami.
And
we all know.
He get an SS.
Then when he meets Nuno Mendes,
he's not playing Mendes with.
You know me. Who says he's not playing Mendes?
He plays behind the striker now. He doesn't.
You know me. Nuno Mendes is falling up and down. For sure. Even like let's say he's not playing from the Mendes area.
Is that midfield?
Do you know that Messi doesn't need to run to run circles around those guys?
You just waiting for all.
He doesn't need to run. And if you cannot collect that ball from him unless you are 3.
Unless you are 3?
Yes.
No worry. I get Vitinha and Pacho.
We go know how fast.
Vitinha and Pacho.
We go know how fast.
When Vitinha and Pacho hold him, you know he go there in between Vitinha and Pacho. Once they choke for there, he go know that he go get road to walk past. If he pass Vitinha, he no go pass Pacho. You get that's when you say when you say you have an X factor. You know that this person is, you can just send one person on him. But when the team in general does not have an X factor, it's easy to catch you. It's going to be difficult to just predict what the team is going to play.
But I don't
that's why I'm sticking with PSG, because we'll just send one person to Messi. Send one person in, we'll leave Suarez.
I don't think
Suarez don't know where post, they will leave him.
I don't think Enrique will put somebody on Messi. He likes all his players free, because if you put a player on Messi, that means you are probably
you create space now. That's
if you put one player on Messi, that player can follow Messi even to the dream and still find his own goal. I could count how many players have done it. We're talking about Ander Herrera for Man United against Chelsea. Again, Ander Herrera versus Hazard. He was complaining. We went back in time and we saw the likes of Man United 2008, Pelo versus Park Ji-sung. Followed him every year. Park just kept making back passes. Pelo kept making back passes. Pelo that we know that can make at least 200 passes a game. And 90% of those passes will be forward passes. In that game, Pele was making backward passes all around. So sending one player to follow one person does not mean the player cannot go on and create something for himself.
But he didn't score in that match. So
who? Park Ji-sung?
Yes.
He had an assist.
He didn't score in that match.
He had an assist.
He didn't score.
It's not about you scoring goal. He's a midfielder.
It's now no longer about you scoring.
I'm just saying you are
contemplating yourself right now.
And the other also made an assist.
Any player who is going to be sent to go and mark Messi is going to create a liability for the team.
Like I said, you can still go on to have a good game. What I meant is you can still go on to have a good game. You might not be able to score the goal, but you must also have an assist. You might also create a chance and stop Messi from creating.
The problem with Messi now, he walks around the pitch, and whenever probably a team is pressing there, for example, if PSG start pressing them, he is always free somewhere waiting for the ball to come.
There will be Pacho standing beside him.
Let's see what happens to them.
Pacho will be standing beside him.
It's going to be an aged team for Inter Miami versus a youthful PSG. It's going to be Messi versus PSG. Messi is the X factor for Inter Miami, but PSG are the European champion. They just won the Champions League a couple of months ago, so they are still informed. They trashed Atletico in this particular competition, 4-0. So
only to lose against botafogo.
Inter Miami is going to need a miracle, or need somebody to, maybe Messi, to produce a miracle for them to be able to beat PSG in this encounter. But it's going to be an interesting. Let's get a prediction for that game: Inter Miami versus Chelsea. So Inter Miami versus PSG. Who wins?
I'm going to wonder how Chelsea never enter inside this conversation.
Who wins in this particular encounter? Who goes through to the quarterfinals?
Miami.
Inter Miami. Oh wow, that's a bold one.
Okay. That's like FIFA. If FIFA do it, you do that. That's if and only if FIFA put her for the matter. But if FIFA don't put her for the matter, they leave her man to man. And a PSG.
Football is not always like that. Anybody can win, but let's see. Let's see. It's going to be PSG. It's going to be PSG versus Inter Milan by 5 p.m. tomorrow. The other round of 16 game that happened tomorrow by 9 p.m. is Flamengo versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich somehow lost against Benfica 1-0 in the final group stage. And that's why they are playing. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing, because Flamengo and Chelsea, I don't even know which one is each, but I think they will be preferred to play
I think Flamengo. They will prefer Flamengo
than to play Chelsea. It's going to be a harder nut to crack against Chelsea, but
there is something I learned from the former Flamengo coach, Diaz. There's something he said about. He said Pep uses the positional play, the style of play, and most of the teams in Europe now are using that same style of play, positional play, and principles of positional play. Why he invented something different and something opposite, anti-positional play. And I've not sat down to understand what that play is, but I'm looking in this game now to see if I could watch it better against Bayern Munich side that plays the principles of positional play, to see if I can understand it better and observe why it will be an anti-positional play, which is opposite of what
anybody can say what they want to say. At the end of the day, after you collect the first, not be even if your tactics, after you collect the first blow, you go now open your eye, know whether this thing they work or
they work, because it carry them go win league. You get, they don't win league currently. Recently they won the league also, so it carry them go far. So I want to see it now on a big stage and see if their tactics, if the principle they work. I don't buy into that philosophy. I'm not going to use the regular
principle thing. I think it's that you're holding the ball or you're playing counter-attacking football. That's the only thing about in football. And you can talk anything. It's that you're holding possession.
Now they tell you, say you can talk anything you want to talk. Other one now was. Baba make game reach. We'll see how far.
What the Inter Milan play against Barcelona 2010.
What are we saying?
You can call it anti whatever I want to call, but it's still counter-attacking football. Defend and counter.
Let's no worry. After this game, I'll come and teach the tactics.
Company has been building for. He won the league last season.
So, rightly so.
Yes,
defeating Leverkusen in the match.
Yes, he has been building for Bayern Munich. He has an opportunity to play not really a big side, but for him to advance to the quarterfinals. Everybody should expect them to win this particular competition. Not competition, this particular game, because they're a bigger team than Flamengo. No matter how you want, they have bigger players and they have bigger squad. Hurricane is there, Sane is there, Mula is there, Olise is there. Squads yapa everywhere, but for them to win this game is where the cocoa day.
Having squad is, let me say, fundamental, right? It's just like the bare necessities to have a good life. Having squad is bare necessities. You can even have all the greatest players in the game on your side, but if they don't have that hunger to win the game, if they don't have the hunger to fight for the match, if they don't have the hunger to go 90 minutes and more, you're still going to lose. So it's going to be class versus Guadangwa FC. That's what I'm seeing right here. Because you have Bayern Munich that have all the stellar names, all the big players, all the, and then you have Flamengo who, are in the blue collar side of the society right now. So it's going to be a very thrilling encounter. Can they do it? It's possible.
Let's get a prediction for that game. Bayern Munich and Flamengo. Who wins?
I'm sticking with Flamengo. After what they did to Chelsea. You get after what they did to Chelsea, and they taught football in that game. They taught football in that game. They will go on to play against a fast, energetic German side. Normally, we know Bayern Munich will be all the energy and all the fireworks in the game, but it's just find a way to just shut them down and score your goal. Jesus came to the rescue in the last one. Let's see if he will perform miracle in this one.
John, who wins in this particular game?
Munich.
Okay, Munich for John and Flamengo for none. So let's see if that will work out for today and tomorrow's game. Okay, that's all for the club workout. On Monday, we'll come and talk about the other round of 16 games. On Monday, Inter Milan will play Fluminense and Man City will play Al Hilal. Then Real Madrid will play Juventus. Then on Wednesday, Dortmund will play Monterrey. We'll talk about that when the game progresses Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, let's move on from Club World Cup and talk transfer. Remember today, the Nigerian Presidential FA Cup will happen today. We're going to talk about that today. Today is going to be the final game when it comes to Nigerian football. It's going to be a Presidential FA Cup, and surprising teams reached that finals of that game. We'll talk about that after we talk transfer news. Okay, let's talk about transfer news. First, Manchester United. Brentford have rejected the bid from Manchester United for Mbeumo. So they are going back with more bid. I think part of the thing that is what the structure of the payment. They talk say when I know they bring full money. When I talk say when I want they break money, they pay off 4 years or 5. It doesn't make sense for Brentford. But I think that Mbeumo has made it clear, obviously, to everybody. If it's not Manchester United, I'm going to stay back at Brentford. But if you look at it, do you think that they are asking more? They are asking more for Manchester United. I think 60 million pounds is okay.
I don't think they're asking more. I think Manchester United are in a precarious situation where they cannot afford to pay a lot of bulk money upfront for one player because it limits them in their ability to recruit other talents in other positions. Now, I want to give you a key yardstick now to look at this scenario. If you look at the deal between Arsenal and Real Sociedad for Zubimendi is going to be signed for about £65 million. But the caveat to that deal is that a lot of that money is spread over a couple of years. Now, this is only possible because Arsenal have good relationship with Sociedad, and the player is also keen to move. And they've made that agreement, and they are going to have that flexibility now because of financial fair play to invest in other positions. This is what Manchester United is looking out for. But, I think their hands are being forced because they've already spent 60-something on Cunha. And so these guys are valuing Mbeumo at that price bracket. Then, secondly, because of they also need the ability to replace who they are going to lose, they don't want to have 10 million for Mbeumo and then 50 million paid over 5 years. They want to have at least 40, 50 upfront cash, bulk money, pocom, in their hands so that they can invest in other positions. Because let's not forget, it's a fine dance of balancing the books ahead of the close of the calendar year in financial football. So I think Manchester United need to go back, look at what they have in their transfer kitty, and look at how they can meet a compromise. We've said it before on this show that when it comes to transfer window and it comes to doing business in the Premier League, Manchester United have over the years been forced to maintain that that rep of being the Saudi money in the Premier League. And it's counterproductive because this deal should have been done 2 weeks ago right now. It should have been done at 50 million. Even when they fought for 60, it should have been done at 60 million. But the club can't pay 30, 40 upfront and then spread out the balance over the couple of years. That's the only stumbling block. So it's either going to take Mbeumo talking to the team, handing a transfer request or whatever to pressure them on that side to budge on that sum.
Okay, and also if you look at this deal, do you think that they are asking too much for Manchester United? But they say that Mbeumo and Cunha are on the same level. I think they paid almost 65 million for
62 million pounds for Cunha, and they spread it all. They spread them three summers, which means 20 now, 20 later, 20 in the other one. Now that's for Matheus Cunha. Mbeumo, on the other hand, I think he's one of Brentford's best players this season. Outside Norgard and Richard, he's one of Brentford's best players this season. Brentford are just being a little too greedy. If you ask
They are
me.
not being greedy, bro.
They're being a little too greedy.
No.
We are giving you 45 million for this player, 10 million in bonuses, which is total of 55 million. You say no. Now you want a total of 60 million, then 10 million in bonuses or 15 million in bonuses, which makes it 75 or so. And Man United is saying no. Now they're giving you 62 million general payment, 65 actually general payment, and we will spread. You say no, you want 70% upfront. Now the club cannot afford 70% upfront.
Then you look elsewhere.
Now Man United are also. I'm going to tell you this.
Look elsewhere, bro. I'm not letting my best player go so that you pay me. Look at Manchester United as of last season. We're still paying for Jadon Sancho.
Now I'll tell you this and I'll tell you once. Mbeumo's medical is booked for Wednesday already. His medicals is booked for Wednesday.
Inside news.
This is just inside news. You'll see that the newspaper they not reject the deal. I'm giving you inside information first hand. Medicals is booked for Wednesday. Okay. Now on Wednesday you will hear that Mbeumo is coming to Old Trafford to sign or Carrington to sign a deal. Come a Man U fan for
somebody
this one.
should clip this part now and save it because we are going to call also out in a couple of days.
If by Wednesday he doesn't go for this deal, I think they are going for 2 other players. There's a player they're looking for at Dortmund right now, Felix Necham. Now, Man United are looking for. See, they've already made preparation in case things go south. And the Ineos team, like I said, this is not the Woodward. This is not Woodward that comes in and you call Woodward on phone, he doesn't pick your call. Then when the player is already offered to another team, he start calling, then they start having a bidding war, and Man United is now forced to pay extra bid. You get that's Woodward. The Ineos team, look at what they did in last summer. Look at what they did last summer. They come, are you coming or not? If you're not coming, stay where you are. We're not going to overpay for you. They did it at some point. They had to do it with Bayern Munich. They said, okay, Mazraoui is 15 million, but we cannot sell Mazraoui to you unless you're taking the lead. How much is the lead? 35. So okay, total package 60 million. Fine, we're paid, but we're going to spread the payment. And they said, okay, fine. That's it. The same day, the both players came to Man United for medicals. The same day, I think it was on the Leeds birthday or so. The same day they signed for Man United. The same day they were announced. So it is the philosophy the Ineos team is coming with is. If you want to come to Man United, you're not coming to Man United because you are playing Champions League or because you are overpaying. You're coming to Man United because you love the club and you're coming to play for the club. Now, if you're not coming to play for the club, look at what Ryan Check said. He said, I belong to Lyon. I am from Lyon and I lost Man United. I'm coming to rival. I'm going to show Man United Premier League. That's because he loves Man City already for some reason. So, if you're coming to Man United, it's not because of the money. The money will be secondary. The money is going to be security. Yes, the money is going to be there. It's going to be security. But first thing, you're coming to Man United because you love the club and you're coming to give your all.
Baba, this is football. You don't need to love your club to play for the club.
Just collect money.
QAD.
It's not QAD. If you don't love the club, you will not look at the likes of Sancho.
Manchester United are the second biggest club.
So you have to love the club.
So whether you love or you don't love,
just come and love the club.
Baba, you not love nothing. Baba, na paycheck.
Other news for Manchester United, Malaysia, remember they sent him on loan to PSV and he won the league with them.
Talk about a productive loan.
Yeah, they are trying to sell him to PSG. May they come collect. Let's see if that deal will go through. For striker position, they are still looking at Gyökeres with one eye. They are in on stand. You know, his former coach Amorim used to be Gyökeres coach when they were in Sporting Lisbon, just last season actually. So there is probably just trying to convince him to come to United, but he is 27 years old. He wants probably a project.
But this is his final contract before you now enter the 1 year, 2 year dance.
This one or more, it will hard for him to move to another bigger club. But let's see if Manchester United will get Gyökeres this season. Remember, Rashford is going to leave. Obviously, Garnacho has been told to leave. I had this small controversy on social media when he wore that Rashford Aston Villa jersey. So he's going to leave. Sancho, now I'm going to disappear. The problem with all these players, especially for Rashford and Sancho, is their money. These people are collecting 250,000 pounds. Nobody will pay that.
There was an offer for this man. The stumbling block is 250,000 wages.
Rashford came out. Look at Rashford came out. I don't know how he. Let's say rumors. Because I didn't see him say it personally, but let's say rumors said his final offer or his final project will be Barcelona.
Yeah,
either way,
Barcelona.
He wants to go to Barcelona anyhow he wants to be. Now Barcelona is looking for a loan spell, a loan deal. And man, it's like cash only. And in the same rumor mill, we have it that Inter Milan has submitted another Italian striker to come and flop at England again, Taremi, for a swap deal for Rashmos. I'm like, what's the difference between Taremi?
you know the
it's not
fun.
even possible because Taremi is 35 years old.
Yes.
No, that's so. Man United say keep your Taremi and give us cash.
You know the funny thing about Rashford pining for Barcelona. Barcelona are still running around, searching all the pockets to see that they will raise
money
transfer clause for Nico Williams.
No, but I think these players have made up their mind. Like Anthony now. Anthony said if he's what's it called? Was it Real Sociedad or so? Real Betis paying the bill. If it's Real Betis coming to sign him, he's willing to take 30% pay cut. But any other club is taking his salary in full. Now look at it. Now in that same request, Napoli has submitted a bid. Baba is saying no, full salary or not, plus increased bonus. Juventus has submitted a bid, full salary plus increased bonus. Now he's waiting for Real Betis. Real Betis is saying, okay, see, we don't have the 40 million to pay for you. We can take you on loan. And Man United is saying, no, we want a full out and out buy. Well, now, is it going to be a way to raise money for Man United? I don't know, but I just feel like these players should just look.
These players are aware of the fact that they have the power right now. They have the leverage, and the leverage they have is the contract they have. They can sit down and eat their money, yes,
and train.
And that's the thing, it's incumbent on Manchester United now. To find a solution.
Then you can reach if they have at least, if these players have at least 1 year on their contract, you can have a mutual agreement to terminate their contract now.
Why
will I terminate my own contract?
Like no, I could pay you off. I just come out. Just come out. That was.
It's a loss for the club because
remember
that's revenue you could have generated off those players.
Contract, you have to pay him all this contract. If it's 4 years,
sometimes that's as if you reach mutual agreement. You know, if you pay the 4 years, you even pay half.
You go pay everything.
You know that story where they show you yesterday. Get one story I showed you about Divock Origi and AC Milan where they want terminating contract. I'm about to say no. If you want to put me on the bench to play or put me on the bench to be collecting my money, I'm not going on loan. I'm not terminating my contract for no reason. Okay, now that's what's happening at AC Milan. But I feel like Man United is going to perhaps offer some of these players, if they don't get a club, a pay cut.
Man United will not be doing that because if you consider the fact that there is also revenue to be generated from these guys. Number one, Garnacho is pure profit to the bottom line. No indication against PSR. Number two, Rashford also is pure profit to the bottom line. So you cannot tell me now that you want to terminate these contracts, force them out free, and let them go and, face whoever is going to sign those deals because they need to also generate money from those sales.
Fenerbahce was actually even talking to Sancho, but that deal will not progress, especially because of his wages. Juventus was talking to Sancho. The problem, I think the only player there that can move to another club easily is Garnacho because it's any less than £100,000 for Manchester United, so it's easier for him to move. But the other players, from Anthony to Sancho to Rashford, these people are on high wages. Nobody is going to pay them anything they are demanding. But let's see what happens with Manchester United. They are always having a problem. But once next 2 weeks starts, next week actually starts July 1, officially the transfer window will open and they will start making sales and try to negotiate as they are probably negotiate to pay them off or something like that. But let's see what happens with Manchester United. Before we talk about the presidential FA Cup, let's open the phone line and get your own reaction. The number to call is 0706 048 5853. Call us and tell us what you think about the Club World Cup this weekend and what is happening at Manchester United. Is a crazy thing going on there. Amorim has players that they want to stay. Even their goalkeeper, they want to buy a goalkeeper. Even though they are talking to Aston Villa's goalkeeper because he's out of the contract, but they are still looking at Anana and if Anana is going to stay or go. But I think if they get Martinez, it's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, let's take the first phone call. Yeah, hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please. Okay, what is your contribution?
How can you I don't take on you here and like that? It doesn't make sense now. Yes, I like what Sancho said. See, he cannot go anywhere. Unless they say they offer her the amount which she wants. Unless it's just for money like that. So, for Rashford, that is children will have. That's what they players for. But he told me about what he does. Money they pay all these guys to marry. Too much.
It's too much actually. Yeah.
It's too much. Yes. Because now they cannot go anywhere.
All right.
Can you please turn down the volume of your radio set?
I can hear you. Okay. We lost that call. Please,
Almost all these guys
if when you call us, please turn down the volume of your radio set so we could hear yourself and hear ourselves here in the studio. But that's part of the problem with everybody. It's just the way
Sancho is Sancho is on 2x of what he was earning at Dortmund.
It's not possible for me to. If na me, I go leave and go. £250,000. Oh my God, sit down for bench to chop that money for like 2 years before I leave. Go where? Before I'm not going to leave. Yeah, hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Yeah, good morning. Name and location, please.
This is Alex telling you.
Okay, what is your contribution?
I don't even know where to start now. Okay, let me start with the World Club.
Yeah, okay.
You see this World Club, I don't understand how they even put these South American teams together. I want to use all the European teams. I want them out. Even though I want to come to PSG, I want to go to France because PSG have really invested a lot. Number one, even looking for Champions League for a very, very long time. When they signed Neymar and Messi, and they couldn't go to it, but they got it through with Enrique and with all those small boys. They really tried. But why I wanted it to go to South America is because they have actually made a statement in the sense that 4 teams from South America
is playing the knockout stages,
of the 2 stages. So it's not surprising to you people. To me, it's surprising to me. I'm telling you. Just like you were explaining about the time zone, we are not opportune to watch all those matches, but it shows a lot the type of quality of football they are playing over that side. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I just want to go. I want that World Club to go to that side so that they can enjoy their football. So that they can learn the people that they, enjoy the fruit of their labor.
Okay.
Not like or what they are doing here in Africa. You understand? So that one is just the way. And as for United, just like Manchester said, Brentford are really, really good. It's much now that I want to buy now. The song will not come out and tell us to say lab the available player is 20 now 30 years so I don't get as much to sign it. Don't have not come out for the tell us that because not they have relationships that they have money, but let us not forget that we have FFCU. 450 rules that they broke. And they're even increasing to 100 that they got broke. I don't know why that just died down. We are not even learning anything about it again. I can't just explain. Upon that, they are still signing, spending some money, just like that.
This is
expenses, cash there.
Okay.
Because we will just cut 20 goals.
no worry, mine you go sign Felix.
Over 25 goals. Please, they should bring down their asking price. I'm telling you.
Why should they bring it down?
All right.
They should just accept. And again, I'm even telling you the way that you can reach that Brandon Bloom himself. Let him try to even persuade.
I think the thing is.
All right, thank you.
He and Onana has had a conversation. 9 teammates. They've talked. They know how Man United is. The thing is Brentford. Now with Brentford, I think this holdback is about losing your coach. Thomas Frank is leaving to what's it called now?
Has already left. He's been unveiled at Tottenham now.
At Tottenham Hotspur. Now there's this case of another midfielder Thomas Frank lets go on loan last season. The Nigerian Super Eagles player Frank Onyeka. He's back in the team, and teams after going to on loan, after spending a low spell at Augsburg last season, teams are looking for him. Stuttgart and the rest of them are looking for him. Now, if I don't know what the new manager is thinking. If he's coming in to see if he can still try and get some of these players to stay back at the club, I don't know. But I feel like if you're going to sell now and buy as much as you can before the
For
season
me,
starts.
I don't think Brentford are being greedy. They are maximizing their advantage as any other team out there would do. And Manchester United signing Mbeumo is not a short thing that is going to give you 20 goals this season.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Name and location, please. Okay, what's your contribution? Sharp.
We'll win our match.
Not today.
The match just not today.
Not today, just not today by 9.
I said we'll win the match.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Will win their match.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Normally.
All the West Ham people, when they close their mouth, don't do the talk. So, I thought to Momo. When the Momo don't go mind you, my brother. Why you taking out all the big players don't come mind you, the man is talking. If you see the big players, don't come mind you. So, that's the first people that will be called. Then it's not true. If you get to do what the Momo don't come, Momo will back up.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see if that will happen. Okay. Let's take the final call before talking about the presidential FA Cup. It's going to happen this weekend. Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Godwin. Good morning, also, and John.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
This is Engineer Additional for Transico.
Okay. What is your contribution?
I want to ask, which time do we start that round 16?
5 p.m.
5 p.m. today.
5 p.m. today.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then Chelsea will play by 9.
Which match will be the first match?
Okay. Fluminense and Botafogo will play first by 5.
Palmeiras.
And Botafogo will play by 5. Then Chelsea and benfica will play by 9.
9.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's what I want to know. Is it anything from us about the transfer?
No, nothing yet. Maybe on Monday we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Okay, the final of the presidential FA Cup will happen. Abakaliki FC somehow made it to the finals of this competition. They are going to play Kwara United in that finals. Interesting game of football because Abakaliki FC, nobody knew them, but gradually they were just winning their game. Even though the final semi-final game, they won on penalty to reach the final, but they are here because they deserve to be here.
They deserve to be here. They've proven the fact that they can be here. You know, sometimes it's a fine balance when you have big teams, big names, and when you come closer, all you see is just big name and past glory. None of them are actually living up to the hype of their name.
Shots fired.
Obviously, you know. And then it's little teams like this that can just come and just want you over and move ahead. You know, so it will be a fantastic story for them to win the night and win the trophy. But you know, I'll leave it up to the best team on the night who shows up and says they want it the most. That's how it's going to go.
Okay, now so interesting game. What do you think will happen in this particular game?
I don't know what will happen in this game because it's a long time we've seen this kind of football from an underdog. You get, and the both teams playing this year they are both underdogs. Let's be honest. Kwara United and Abakaliki FC, they are both underdogs. You never expected them to get to this stage. I think knocking out Rangers in the quarterfinals or semi-finals in this game sent a loud message. Now the thing is, I was listening to radio last night and somebody was asking one of the commissioners for Abakaliki FC, one of their senior advocates gave questions, and it was like, if you win this game and you go into the CAF Confederation or CAF Champions League, which stadium? And they say, let's count one first. If CAF does not approve our stadium, they'll look at the next one. But I just feel like they've built quietly. They've built a footballing community. Quietly, they've developed a footballing environment in Abakaliki that you never say, okay, this is what it is. You never go and say, okay, fine, let's see. Quietly, they've been playing. Quietly, they've been growing. Quietly, they've been growing to this very stage. And getting into this final was not the first time. They're not in the MPFL. They're not in the MPFL. They're not even playing the Super 8 this season. But a team that is not playing the Super 8 is just like saying a team that is going for relegation, winning the FA Cup and qualify for Europa League. You're playing Championship. Next thing they'll be playing the NNL, but they'll still be playing the if they win and qualify for the CAF Confederation Cup. But I feel like they've done themselves a solid by getting to the finals already.
Of course.
Is in the history books. Even if they don't win it, it's in the history book. Because look at it now. Both underdogs, Kwara United is still a more superior team to Abakaliki FC. But since this year, in quotes,
And the years of underdog.
is the year of the underdog.
Okay, let's see.
But I just feel like I'll be giving my heart and my support to Abakaliki FC. I might be going back there this morning to go and see that game in full.
Okay, let's see what happens in the finals of the Presidential FA Cup. It's going to be Kwara United versus Abakaliki FC. They have done really well, beating teams from since the competition started. Winning the Premier League team till the finals. Let's hope that luck will be on their side when they play Kwara United. I think I'm going to root for Abakaliki FC.
Katsina United,
yeah,
Eimba, all the big names.
They actually did well. Reaching this final is even as necessary, even if they don't win it, playing in this final is a fantastic thing for the club. And if they win it, they play continental football next season, irrespective of which particular division they are playing. Okay, this is our good end to today's show. Thank you for joining on today's show. Let's sit down and enjoy the club World Cup knockout stage. It starts today by 5 p.m. and by 9 p.m. Chelsea is going to play Sunday. Messi and his boys will play PSG tomorrow. So on Monday we'll come back and analyze all the games that happened throughout the weekend. My name is Godwin, and have a fantastic weekend.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage.